Make sure you're using a proper scissor, proper hair scissor, sharp hair scissor, not a kitchen scissor. You're not cutting meat.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new, my name is Afrolisha and over here natural hair is the topic. So a while ago I made a video about cutting my hair, and today we are back here because my ends are a little rusty. So I'm just gonna show you how I cut my hair, but today's cut is more like a maintenance cut to make sure that my hair is like I have healthy ends, and yeah, just the dryness and the split ends and the single strand knots. We're gonna get rid of all of that today. This is not a cut where I'm going to kind of shape my hair. We'll get into that sometime, but not today. Today we're just gonna cut for, like, let's say health. Okay, so that is how my hair is looking, and my hair is 100% dry. It has some leave-in conditioner on, and I literally just braided it up like that. I also detangled it, so it should be detangled. Don't worry about how it looks. It's detangled, just trust me. I'm kind of gonna cut my hair the same way I always do, which is in twists. I'm gonna do my twist a little bit smaller because I feel like I have more damage. I'm gonna feel my hair and feel and kind of look at my hair to see where it needs to be cut. So let's start. I'm gonna section off a piece at the back. I do have like a spray bottle of like water, like kind of a moisturizer. I separated this in two sections. Let's separate it in two more sections so I can just show you guys. So yeah, you can see my hair. The reason why the water here, just if I want to like, I do want to detangle my hair. So yeah, but it's still a wet cut because my hair is practically dry. That water did nothing. What I will do is just start twisting. One thing about this is also I'm gonna end up with like an awesome twist out. But you don't have to like do it so super neat. But I'm just gonna show you like the model. You can do your twist out as big as you feel. I just feel like I have like I kind of have a lot of damage. So I want to take it section by section. So you will start feeling as you're twisting down, okay? Especially if you add a little bit of water. Where your hair starts feeling frizzier than normal. It would always feel frizzy at the end, but you will just feel also. What I can also feel, it feels almost like at the ends of my hair there are little bumps. That's not what we want. Also, it just feels drier than the rest of my hair. So yeah, I'm going to cut about there. Make sure you're using a proper scissor, proper hair scissor, sharp hair scissor, not a kitchen scissor. You're not cutting meat. One slice. Don't worry about it, hair grows back and your end should feel nice and healthy till the end. That is kind of what I'm gonna do. Just spray it with like 2 sprays of water just to get some moisture in the section to detangle. Twist it. Your hair would feel nice and smooth twisting down, and you'll get to your ends when it starts feeling rough. That's where I'm cutting. Okay, I can already start feeling the roughness. So we take the scissor, cut. talk about some of the benefits, because there are myths that say if you cut your hair is gonna grow faster, which is totally untrue. Your hair does not grow faster when you cut your hair. Speaking of experience, it does not grow faster. So what I do is I'm really like big on examining my hair. So when I have a knot in my hair, I always go like I fiddle with the knot to try and take it apart. Normally I try and see like what caused the knot. So there's a few reasons how I always have a knot. There's always lint in my hair, like from my pillow or whatever. That seems to get in my hair and it causes a knot. Single strand knots, it's almost like there where the knot is, my other hairs like tangle up around it, and that's just like a bad friction part. Another thing is split ends. Yeah, so all that unnecessary stuff causes tangles in my hair. The only way to get rid of split ends and single strand knots and things like that is with a good trim. So that's why I do a trim. Like if I have to leave that split ends, it just rises. The single strand knots also just causes more knots, more tugging, which causes more split ends. Split ends rise, and then the longer I take to cut my hair, the higher I need to cut my hair. So like the more hair I need to cut. So having like a good scheduled routine. But the thing is, I don't have a routine. When I start realizing and feeling my ends are feeling rougher than normal, that is when I will do a cut. I don't know if you can see my cut that I had on my channel. I think that was the last time, which was like probably like almost a year ago. So yeah, it's not a thing where you need to cut your hair very often, but if you're doing a lot of wash and goes, and if you're doing like, let me think of styles that damage your hair, like wash and goes, and if you do a lot of styles where your hair is like stretched, like if you have to stretch your hair, you have to detangle your hair, which causes tension, which causes split ends and bad ends. So yeah, especially also if you are heat trained, like if you use heat on your hair, that could be another reason you'd have to like speed up the cutting process. For me, my hair is like 100% natural. The only thing that like causes damage on my hair is me, that is like being too harsh on my hair with hairstyles and maybe a lot of the time detangling. But other than that, there's not like outside factor, like there's no heat damage and things like that. So I now and then do a wash and go. I try to cut my wash and go to a big minimum, because every time I do a wash and go, I have 1,000 new single strand knots. So guys, I don't know if you're like me, but I did not know that there were different types of split ends, and like I thought there's split ends and that's it. There's like but there's different type of split ends. And as of recently, I want to let you guys know that I'm seeing two type of split ends in my hair that you guys should check out for. So the split ends that I've been seeing is the feather split end, like that. And that one for me, like what I think has been causing it in my hair is all the hairstyles and the detangling and being rough with my hair. Like it's literally at, like, I think tension caused that split ends, and just dryness, and just like not sealing my ends. There's a lot of reasons why you would get those feather split ends at the end. Like just it's the weakest part of your hair, it's the oldest part of your hair. So like your hair can be very healthy and you can still have split ends. Like I thought I was immune to split ends, but no. You can just brush your hair wrong once and you can end up with a lot of split ends. Then there's a new one which I didn't even know existed, but it's the split end. You have to watch out for that split ends if you do like a lot of hairstyles at the same place. Like if you're doing a lot of high puffs here, and you're doing this high puff for like 2 weeks straight. Okay, not like you don't have to do it for 2 weeks straight for you to get this. You can even do your high puff too tight once and end up with these split It's not even a split end, it's a split strand because it splits in the middle, and that's because of like tension at certain areas in your hair. It's the same way like tension at your ends when you're detangling will cause the feather ones, and then like tension in the middle at a specific area of your hair will cause those ones. Okay, so that's kind of like the back half of my hair. I just want to show you how much I cut off. That is the amount, like literally like, which is not that much. Like I think I detangle my hair, and this is the amount that comes out of my brush. So no worries, no worries. So the way how I figure out what type of split ends I have and everything without me, like my hair was not always this long where I could look at my ends, like that's a blessing. So how I know what's going on with my hair is like during the day when I like have any hairstyle, twist out, wash and go, whatever, my hands is almost always in my hair. And when it's in my hair, our hair does shed a lot of hair strands. So I normally examine those strands, like when I'm sitting at my desk at work. I will like pull a few strands out of my hair, play with my hair and not pull a few strands, like find those strands that are just like shaded in my hair, and then I will really look at it, like look at the ends, feel how smooth it is, feel if there's any bumps, look at the single strand knots, like just examine your hair, just get to know your hair. And that's a perfect way to actually look at it. Like once it's like out of your scalp, it had a good growing phase, like shit is like hair like that's on your scalp, it didn't break, so there won't be like unnecessary split ends or whatever. But some if you have split ends, your shed hair will have split ends. So yeah, that was how I found out about my split ends. A lot of problems I find with my hair is through examining my hair. Like that's how I found out about that split strand. Like I had to find it on one of my strands that was shed in my hair. Examine your hair, take note of how your hair is feeling, how your hair is looking, and yeah. So I was actually thinking now, I touched on the topic that like stretched hair causes split ends. Split ends and tangles both defeat the purpose of growing your hair long. They're like parts that need to be cut out of your hair. There's nothing you can really do to repair them. Split ends and tangles, you need to fight them both. So split ends is very prone to when you are stretching your hair. But then tangles are very prone to when you're leaving your hair very natural. So you're always fighting something with every hairstyle. Whether it's frizz, whether it's tangles, whether it's split ends, like there's always something. There's always a reason to be more gentler with your hair. There's no such thing as hair that is like undamaged. Like there's a thing as healthy hair, but not hair that's not damaged. Like even shampooing your hair is like a very harsh action that you're doing to your hair that you can cause damage with. So don't worry too much about like how much strands you are hearing snapping when you like brushing your hair, because I got very on that stuff. I didn't want to do anything that was hurting my hair, but just make sure that you are moisturizing your hair, you're taking care of your hair when you can. Damage is when it comes with detangling and all that, and different hairstyles will come, it's normal. Just make sure you're fighting it in other processes with deep conditioning and making sure you're getting trims and everything, because like I said, when I was examining my hair, it split ends, not single strand knots, and lint. I must find a way to make lint not stick in my hair, but I think it's the products. Like my products are like sticky, and maybe it's like a build-up problem. But yeah, actually weird enough, please examine your knots if you can. Like if you get like big knots in your hair, try and like see what is actually the root of that knot. Like, cause your hair doesn't always just decide to start tangling. There's something that in the tangle is hooking. So it's normally like split ends or single strand knots, which is like my biggest enemy, guys. Like that's the one thing that my hair that's the one thing I try and fight every day with every hairstyle. That's why I do so much twist out. That's why you almost never see me with a wash and go. It's because I'm always trying to fight single strand knots. I don't like them because it's like I'm rubbing my hair and I feel this hard bulb on it. It's so unpleasant and it's practically like all around my head. I cannot get away from single strand knots. Literally, like I see it on like 4 strands just looking at it here. I don't think I can show you like on my hair strand, so I'll like get a picture of a single strand knot, but if you're natural, you should know them. Like you should know them. And the longer your hair gets, the more they come up because the more length your hair has to tangle around itself. It's so irritating. Like, trust me, like embrace having short hair if you're still in that phase, because all the problems you think you have with your hair now, it like multiplies as your hair grows. Also, another thing with long hair is products go just like that. Like I can buy me a full hair care line. Before it would last me like a good month, like a good month and a half. If I must buy me like a full hair care line, which I'd say is like 4 products, it's gonna last me. Also, like because I like make videos on it and stuff, like if I'm really like good with it, like just under 3 weeks. Because I be doing styles. My hair is not boring. I'm not boring with my hair at all. Okay, so this I'm just gonna do one full piece, like. And like from your parting, I haven't been doing it, but you'd wanna do it. Like twist like straight away from it. Like if here's the parting, twist like that. Don't have like here's the parting and then I like keep my twist like that. No. Keep it like that so that all your ends will like kind of be even at the end, if you get what I mean. So that you're cutting like at a good point and you're cutting all your ends, not like just the section of the ends. And detangle as you're going down just to make sure it's uniform. Once it starts feeling rough, and don't worry about the amount you're cutting off, because to be honest, I'm not really looking, or like I'm not taking note of the amount I'm cutting off, but then every time I cut I see the size is very close, so like I can see where my damage is. Like it's good. Like you wouldn't start like cutting a few strands like high up here, other strands like low down there. No, like there's a uniform damage. Is that good or bad actually? So I'm actually gonna like leave it in this twist because I'm gonna do another protective style. Like yeah. Um, I hope you guys saw the other one, but now I'm gonna do kind of like a more modest one. Like that one was kind of like I'd say a little bit childish. Like kind of okay, not childish, like childlike. Like it resembled like a kiddie's hairstyle. So the next one is also gonna be something like that, but a bit more grown up. So yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. I just wanted to make sure my ends were healthy before I go in with this like protective styles. If you're doing your hair like this and you're doing it in nice small like twists like this, you can add like a little bit of like curling cream or conditioner, whatever you choose to use. Do a twist out like this, even just a 2-strand twist out, because a twist out with fresh ends, chef's kiss, it's like always the best. Okay guys, so one like tip I want to give you guys, like just to a tip on healthy hair, is that your ends must always be thick. If your ends are in any way thinning out, if your ends is any way thinner than your roots, natural hair just doesn't do that. Because so yeah, like you'll see how this is so poofy. The only way I can get it like small is if like I stopped the twist here high up and I like brushed it out with a 10-min brush and made this whole thing like one coil. So but you can see if I twist it till the end, it's like uniformly thick. It doesn't thin out like to like a small little twist where it's like small pieces at the end. You don't want that. You want to make sure that your twist end very uniform. Like, it shouldn't thin out till the end. It should be nice and thick right till the end. All your hair should be like that. Whenever I do this haircut, I always realize that my back hair seems to be a bit more damaged than my front hair. Like I end up having to cut off a bit more. My ends seem rougher, more higher up on the hair strands compared to the front. The front, I almost find very little of that roughness and single strand knots, but it's also because the front of my hair I kind of have like halo frizz. It's not that curly, it's not as coily as the back. It's kind of like, I don't know, the curl is like just a bit more chilled out. So that's why I think I don't have a lot of single strand knots in front. It's more at the back. So that's just my hair, but like, yeah, so you'll just learn things of doing your own haircuts, doing your own hair, doing your own hairstyles, taking note of your hair. You'll be able to tell things like this. I always end up cutting more off the back than I do in the front, just because that's how my hair is. This only starts feeling rough like at the very end. Like, yeah. So yeah, I was never into cutting my own hair. Like, this was the one thing, like when I went natural, that I thought like, yeah, I will really get it done by someone else. But then I was transitioning, and I wanted to go then for a haircut, kind of just to get my hair on my shoulders. Like, I literally just had so much growth. I just wanted like all my hair on my shoulders. So I still had a lot of like damaged hair, and I was still straightening my hair. But I went to the hairdresser, and it was, I don't want to like give the hairdresser's name, but it's like a very expensive hairdresser. Kind of, I'd say, white people's hair. It's known, that type of hairdresser. So I didn't have a problem with going there to cut my hair. So, because I always used to go to a hairdresser when I used to straighten my hair, I would go to a hairdresser, they would do it. I would come home and re-straighten it because they could just never get it right. So I didn't have a problem because the main reason was I'm going there for a haircut. So I had went there and I cut my hair thinking, okay, I'm starting over now. After this, I'm never ever gonna straighten my hair again, and I'm just gonna like start with fresh ends. And the lady, I went to the hairdresser, she cut my hair, she did it. I came home and I then wet my hair because I want to like, was like, okay, let's go natural. I then like examined my ends, and I had so much split ends. Like, I don't know if a scissor was blunt or what was going on, but I came from a hairdresser after they had freshened up my ends to a whole lot of split ends, guys. Like, oh my word. And from that day, I just never trusted a hairdresser because I was thinking like, what makes them change the scissor? Like, it's once upon a time that you actually get that customer that asks you like, when are you getting a new scissor? And then you're like, oh my word, I actually didn't replace that scissor in 5 years. So that is just my whole thing, is I don't trust the tools in the hairdresser. Like, I felt like that hairdresser cut my hair even deader. So that's what prompted me to just start cutting my own hair, and I never looked back since. And I grew all of this out with my own hand. I don't even show it a lot, but there's a picture like after I cut off all my hair. That was a month later, so yeah. That's like the only picture I have. I didn't take pictures. Like, I felt ugly. Like, now if I look back, I wish I did more things with my teeny weeny fro. Like, I really wish I did more things. I wish I used a curling sponge. I wish I tried finger coils on that short hair. Like, yeah, there's so much things I see that people do with their short hair that make me wanna like low-key start all from overs. Last one. And there we go, guys. That is how I do a fresh haircut. My edges are kind of growing a bit fast if you want to know how I keep that kind of like in shape. They're not in shape now, but like when I style them, if you want to know how I keep them like able to be in shape, you can check out my videos on how I cut my edges. This was just how I do like a quick at home trim for like health and length retention. Oh, if you watch this far, then please do comment hairball, because I have a perfectly cute hairball. What can I do with this? Is there like something I can do with my old hair? If you know, leave it in the comments. But yeah, if you commented hairball, then I know you watched this far and you're like one of the real ones, and I love you more than everyone else. God bless you guys.